The room went silent the moment Ethan grabbed the microphone. Then he looked at his wife and laughed. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said with a smirk, "here's to the woman who spent 10 years contributing absolutely nothing to my success." A few people chuckled. Others looked away awkwardly. But Sophia just sat there, silent, and no one in that ballroom had any idea that less than 20 minutes later, a private jet would land outside the party, and Ethan's entire world would collapse. Because the woman he called useless was never powerless. She was just patient. This is Broken Then Powerful, where pain turns into power. Sophia Carter met Ethan long before the luxury watches, the penthouse, or the $1 million parties. Back then, he was just an ambitious man with big dreams and unpaid bills. And Sophia believed in him completely. She worked double shifts at a small cafe while Ethan tried building his business from a tiny apartment with broken air conditioning and cheap furniture. She paid rent when his bank account hit zero. She sold her jewelry when his first company almost failed. And when everybody else laughed at his dreams, she stayed. That was the part Ethan forgot. Success changes some people, but money reveals them. 10 years later, Ethan became one of the youngest tech millionaires in Chicago. Luxury cars, magazine interviews, VIP parties, a mansion overlooking the lake, and slowly, Sophia disappeared from his story. At first, it was small things. He stopped introducing her during events, stopped holding her hand in public, stopped looking at her the same way. Then came the comments. "You wouldn't understand business. You're too emotional. You should be grateful for this life." Every sentence chipped away at her confidence. But Sophia never fought back. Not because she was weak, but because she still loved the man he used to be. Then one night, everything changed. Ethan hosted a massive celebration party after his company secured a billion-dollar merger deal. Politicians were there, celebrities, business investors. The ballroom glittered with gold lights and champagne towers. Sophia spent hours getting ready. A deep red dress, elegant diamonds, her hair carefully tied back. For a moment, she almost felt beautiful again. But the second Ethan saw her, his expression changed. "You're wearing that?" he whispered coldly. Sophia's smile faded. "I thought it looked nice." Ethan sighed in irritation. "You embarrass me sometimes." Those 5 words hit harder than a slap. Still, she stayed silent. Because pain becomes familiar when you've lived with it long enough. The night got worse. Ethan barely acknowledged her. Meanwhile, he laughed a little too comfortably with a younger woman named Vanessa, a social media influencer obsessed with attention and expensive men. Everyone noticed, especially Sophia, but she said nothing. Then came the speech that destroyed everything. Ethan walked onto the stage holding a champagne glass while cameras flashed around him. He thanked investors, partners, friends. Then suddenly, he looked directly at Sophia. And of course, he laughed. "Special thanks to my wife for doing absolutely nothing while I built this empire." The room exploded with uncomfortable laughter. Sophia froze. Her cheeks burned red. Ethan kept going. "Honestly, some people are just born lucky. Isn't that right, sweetheart?" Even Vanessa laughed. That was the moment something inside Sophia broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, like a final thread snapping after years of pressure. Sophia slowly stood up. No tears, no screaming, no argument, just silence. And somehow, that silence made Ethan uncomfortable. She picked up her purse and walked toward the exit while whispers filled the ballroom behind her. Did she leave? Was that real? Poor woman. But they didn't know. Sophia wasn't running away. She was finally walking away. Outside, cold wind hit her face as tears finally rolled down her cheeks. 10 years. 10 years of sacrifice. 10 years of loyalty, reduced to a joke for rich strangers. She stared at the city lights in silence. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Sophia almost ignored it. But something told her to answer. "Miss Carter," a calm voice said. "The jet has landed." Sophia closed her eyes. For a few seconds, She said nothing, then quietly replied, "I'll be there." Inside the ballroom, Ethan continued drinking and laughing like nothing happened. Until one of the investors near the window frowned. Ethan? What?" "There's a private jet landing outside." The room shifted. People moved toward the giant glass windows overlooking the outdoor landing area beside the hotel. A sleek white Gulf Stream slowly came into view, luxury lights glowing against the dark sky. People started murmuring, "Whose jet is that? Another billionaire arriving?" Then the hotel manager suddenly rushed inside looking nervous. Very nervous. He walked straight toward Ethan. "Sir, we may have a problem." Ethan frowned. "What now?" The manager swallowed hard. "The owner of Carter Global Holdings just arrived." Ethan blinked. "What does that have to do with me?" The manager looked confused. "Sir, your wife is Sophia Carter, correct?" Ethan's stomach dropped. Because there was only one Carter Global Holdings, a private investment empire worth billions, one so secretive almost nobody knew who owned it. And suddenly, every moment of the last 10 years replayed in Ethan's head. The jewelry Sophia sold, the phone calls she used to take privately, the mysterious family meetings she never explained. Oh God, no, it couldn't be. Then the ballroom doors opened, and Sophia walked back in. But this time, everything was different. Her posture, her confidence, her energy. 2 security guards followed behind her while hotel executives rushed beside her nervously. The entire room went silent. Vanessa's smile disappeared instantly. Ethan stared at Sophia like he was seeing her for the first time. And honestly, maybe he was. Sophia slowly walked across the ballroom floor in her red dress, while heels echoed through the silence. No anger, no revenge speech, no dramatic yelling. Just power, real power, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself. One of the investors suddenly whispered, "That's Sophia Carter?" Another man looked pale. Her family owns half the aviation industry. Ethan couldn't breathe, because the truth hit him all at once. Sophia had never depended on him. Not financially, not emotionally. She chose him when she could have chosen anyone. And he destroyed the one person who loved him before the money. Ethan quickly walked toward her. "Sophia, wait." But she calmly stepped back. That hurt him more than any insult ever could. "I didn't know," he whispered desperately. Sophia looked at him quietly. "You never asked." Those 3 words shattered him, because they were true. He never asked about her dreams, her past, her sacrifices, her pain. He only cared about himself. Tears filled Ethan's eyes. "I was angry, stressed. I didn't mean it." Sophia gave a small, sad smile. "No, Ethan, you meant every word." Silence, heavy silence, the kind that forces people to face themselves. Vanessa quietly disappeared into the crowd. The investors avoided eye contact, and Ethan stood there realizing something terrifying. He had spent years chasing powerful people, while destroying the most valuable person already beside him. Sophia reached into her purse and handed him an envelope. "Divorce papers, signed." Ethan looked broken. "Sophia, please." But she shook her head softly. "You didn't lose me tonight." She paused. "You lost me slowly, over the years." Then she turned around and walked away. This time, no one laughed. People moved aside as she walked through the ballroom like royalty. Outside, the private jet waited under glowing lights. And as Sophia stepped toward it, she didn't look back once, because sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stop begging to be loved correctly. Ethan became richer after the divorce, but everyone close to him noticed something strange. He stopped smiling, stopped partying, stopped celebrating, because regret is a prison money cannot unlock. Meanwhile, Sophia disappeared from public life for almost a year. Then one morning, her face appeared on the cover of Forbes magazine, the silent billionaire behind Carter Global. And beneath the photo was a quote that instantly went viral across the internet. "Never humiliate someone who stayed beside you during your hardest years." Millions shared it, because deep down, people understand this truth. The world often ignores quiet people, kind people, loyal people, until one day, they realize silence was never weakness. It was dignity, and sometimes the people who speak the least carry the greatest power. If someone loves you when you have nothing, don't wait until they leave to understand their value. Because disrespect destroys relationships faster than failure ever will. And the saddest regret in life is realizing too late that you broke the heart of someone who would have never broken yours. Subscribe to Broken Then Powerful for more stories like this. And remember, some people don't become powerful after heartbreak. They finally reveal the power they had all along.